Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video we're going to talk getting started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and today we're taking a look at the Blades of Khorne, and in particular the Baleful Lords subfaction of the army. Now in this video we're going to go through, talk about the special rule that makes the Baleful Lords special, and then we'll take a look at some units we recommend to get started with for this particular subfaction. We'll then look at some other units we recommend to expand upon after those first couple of initial purchases, and finally finish off the video with a little sample army list of 1,000 points for you to use as some inspiration for starting your own Blades of Khorne army with the Baleful Lords. And so, to begin with, we have the Unbound Slaughter rule. While a friendly Baleful Lord's Bloodthirster other than Scarbrand is within 8 inch of any other Baleful Lord's Bloodthirster other than Scarbrand, once again, use the top row of its damage table regardless of how many wounds it suffered. This is just great. Straight away, this is showing us, we want to focus on Bloodthirsters, we want to have multiple of them, and there's definitely some combinations with the Bloodthirsters in their own War Scrolls that we'll talk about in just a second that really make this subfaction start to click together and work nicely. And so, speaking of Bloodthirsters, where to begin but with one of them, and the one we're going to talk about is the Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirster. Now, first of all, you've got your Hellfire Breath, which is a really cool attack, 8 inch range, and it attacks a single enemy unit, and you roll a number of dice equal to the number of models in the unit to a maximum of 10 for its attack rolls, 2s, 3s, Ren 1, damage 1. You've also got your Blood Flail in there as well, which is a nice damage 6 on its 1 attack, 3-3, Ren 1, damage 6, pretty cool. And the Mighty Axe of Khorne, 8 attacks, 2s to hit, 2s to wound, Ren -2, damage D3. Now, like most Bloodthirsters, this model can fly, but its big thing is its Commander of Tyrants ability, where in the combat phase, when you pick this unit to fight for the first time in that phase, you can pick a friendly Bloodthirster of Insensate Range or Bloodthirster of Unfettered Fury. These are the two other types of Bloodthirsters other than Scarbrand that we have, wholly within 16 inch of this unit that is not yet fought, and that unit can fight one after the other in any order of your choice. So you can get two Bloodthirsters to strike together, which is pretty awesome. You've also got the Marshal of Khorne Legion's ability, where once per turn you can issue a command without the command point being spent from this model, which is just nice, meaning it's always got an all-out defense or all-out attack for free if it would need it. Now, of course, we are talking about a subfaction here that is going to require us to take bodies within the force and going to have us spending a few points on Bloodthirsters. So I think a decent unit to look at is looking at the cheaper battle line options we have available to us. And, of course, this starts with the Blood Reavers. Blood Reavers are 80 points for 10 models. A single box of Blood Reavers comes with 20, so you've got your battle line sorted straight from the get-go here. Nice and cheap. They're not really going to do an awful lot on the table. They do get to add one to their wound rolls if they're near any totems, though we're not looking to include any totems in this particular force, but they are, going to pack out 2 attacks each. You can get them some rend if you want, though they go to 4s and 4s rather than 3s and 4s on their hit and wound profile if you choose to do so. And so the next place to look, obviously, is the other Bloodthirsters. Once we start thinking about expanding, we're going to want to get that second Bloodthirster in to have those abilities of the Bloodthirsters always using their top brackets. And not only that, with the Unfettered Fury there as well, we're going to get to attack with 2 of them, one after the other. Now, the 2 options we have here is, first of all, the Bloodthirster of Insensate Rage. This is the one with the giant axe. Its big rule is called Outrageous Carnage, where if the unmodified wound roll for an attack of its Great Axe of Khorne is a 6, it causes a number of mortal wounds equal to the value shown on its Outrageous Carnage ability to all enemy units within 8 inch, in addition to any damage the axe would normally inflict. That axe is already 5 attacks, 4s, 2s, Ren 2, damage D3 plus 3, but it can also do 4 mortal wounds for every 6 to hit around it as well, which is pretty awesome. This thing can pack out a ton of damage if it starts to spike. Now, the other Bloodthirster is a Bloodthirster of Unfettered Fury. Beacon of the Hunt, at the start of your charge phase, you pick a friendly Blade of Khorne unit wholly within 16 inch of this model that's not a hero, and until the end of that phase, you can attempt to charge with it, and you get to make a 3d6 charge rather than 2d6, which is pretty cool. And the Land Rebels as well, you subtract 1 from hit rolls made by enemy units while they're within 8 inch of the model as well. So this is definitely the Bloodthirster you take, maybe if you're trying to get some Legions on the table. For me, it's probably not the one I would go with as my second. I'd certainly go the Insensate Rage. Now, the Bloodmaster Herald of Khorne is another demon character I think brings a lot to the table. First of all, this model is a priest, so it's going to bring some of the different prayers we have available to us, but also allow us to use the Judgments of Khorne, which are a type of invocation Khorne has access to. Its big thing is it can do some mortal wounds in combat. It's, not too shabby a fighter there with 4 attacks, 3 threes, round 1 damage 2. Can do some stuff to smaller units, but it's really there to give us an extra prayer and potentially chuck out one of the Judgments of Khorne, speaking of which. We have 3 main ones here. So first of all, we have the Wrath Axe, which is just some straight up damage dealing. The Hex Gorgeous Skulls have some cool abilities targeting enemy wizards and causing them to potentially explode. I've had it happen to me plenty of times playing against my mates' Khorne armies. And then the Blood Sigil as well stops Inspiring Presence being able to work around it, which I think goes really nicely with the fact we're not going to want our Bloodthirsters to get tied down, so being able to force battle shock tests after we've done outrageous damage to a unit with Bloodthirsters I think is incredibly important. And so here we have our sample army list. Now, we've obviously gone Baleful Lords, that's where the game's been played at the moment. The grand strategy is take what's theirs. This is trying to move into enemy territory. We're an army that wants to go kill stuff, so this just makes sense to take. And a Triumph, we are 30 points under, so Inspired is pretty cool. This is mostly in case we get those Bloodthirsters separated, can be a really useful +1 wound, or even if we need the Blood Reavers or the Blood Master to get some bonuses here and there to get them through a little bit of extra damage, can be super useful. Now, our leader will be the Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirster, who's going to be our general. And we've got the command trait Firebrand, which makes this model a priest. We're then taking the prayer Bronzed Flesh, which is just a +1 armor save prayer. We then have the Bloodthirster of Insensate Rage, and the artifact we've got on him is Argath, the King of Blades. This is awesome as a combo, I think. What this does is enemy units within 3 inch of this Bloodthirster can't use abilities and wards, which is just super powerful considering this model can pack out a decent amount of high rend damage and also packs out those mortal wounds as well. The Bloodmaster Herald of Khorne is going to have the aspect of the champion. Stubborn as a Rhinox, counting as an extra 10 models, I think is really useful for us. And the Prayer Killer Instinct allows us to out of phase move, which is super, super powerful. Now, Battle Line, we've got those 2 units of Blood Reavers in there, but we've also taken the Bleeding Icon. Like I said, I think this is really nice and potent, along with those Bloodthirsters who are going to be packing out a lot of damage. This is just going to allow us to make sure we're forcing our opponent to take Battle Shock tests. Now, we've got a Battle Regiment. This wraps up everything except one of the Bloodthirsters, meaning we are a 2-drop force. If you've got some ideas on a multi-Bloodthirster list, though, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments below. And so that's the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fantastic little community here, we have a Discord server which is linked down in the video's description. Also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel. If you would like to, you can do so either by YouTube members or Patreon, or by grabbing yourself some merch at Teespring or at our Ko-fi store. All of them are linked down in the video's description. As a special thank you to our Patreons and YouTube members, we'd like to give you all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lowe, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Benjamin Swallers, Redman, Iron Grinch, Nicholas Colomos, Colorblind Magic, Grimscold, and Andy C. And to our YouTube members of Green Rich Gaming, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Baroque Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weird, James Tillman, Gargamel196, and Disco. Lastly, a special thanks, first of all, to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel, everyone who helps come and provide the games for everyone to watch on the channel as well, and indeed all our fantastic mods and members of the community who keep our Discord and comment section a fantastic place for all to be. Thank you all once again, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.